Hi guys, this is John from Sonic Drive Studio. Thanks for tuning into this channel. I recently released a video in which I demonstrate the Fractal Audio XFX and AX8 in multiple styles. This includes tones ranging from pristine cleans to heavy downtune metal. I've put a link to that video in the description below, and I recommend watching that before you view this video. I'll be doing more of these videos for different platforms such as Helix Native, the Kemper, etc. So please subscribe if you want to see more. This second episode will focus on the third and fourth tones of the video, which were the crunchy tones. Some of the settings of these presets, such as the noise gate and room reverb, have already been discussed in the first video, so I recommend also watching that one first. Now, the first tone was inspired very much by bands such as AC/DC and Aerosmith. I'm using my JTV59 Variax again with the passive bridge humbucker pickup this time. It has a very nice bite to it. A Marshall Plexi style amp was an obvious choice for this little track, and we ended up using the Plexi 100 watt high amp model. It's great for that crunchy classic rock Marshall tone, and it seems to fit this guitar nicely too. Input drive is set to 5, and I raised the bass, mids and treble controls to give the amp a bit of a fuller and more defined sound. Raising the mid and treble controls on Plexi amps can really help to give the guitar a more solid mid-range. So I recommend trying that out for yourself. Other than that, I didn't do anything here, so let's go over to the Cablock. I'm using an OwnHammer IR again. This time it's the 4x12 Marshall checkerboard speaker, which has an amazing mid-range. And I ended up using the M20 pre-Rolla speaker option. Just as in the previous video, I stuck with the quick start folder and I chose the OwnHammer 1 mix for a nice body and smooth clarity. The low cut is set to about 77 Hz again, and I've added some motor drive to simulate some speaker compression. This happens when you turn your amp up loud in real life. Then finally, I'm ending the chain with the reverb block, and I'm using the settings which I explained in the previous episode. Recording Studio C, quality set to high, time set to 1.1 and mix set to 19 for a nice 3D and roomy sound. The next tone is quite different, mostly because I'm using my Fender Stratocaster with Texas Special pickups again for a very characteristic and defined upper mid-range. I was going for a more alternative rock type sound with this one, and I ended up using the Fox ODS amp model, which I had never used before, so it was an interesting find to try this one. The input drive and overdrive controls are set to a little under 5, and the EQ tone stack is set to almost flat. There's nothing happening here aside from that. Again, default settings can work well sometimes. Moving on to the Cablock. I used the Bogner oversized 2x12 OwnHammer again, just as in the first video for the first tone. But in this instance, I wanted a sound with a slightly smoother top end, hence the OwnHammer 2 mix. I've raised the low cut again and also added some motor drive. And finally, I've added the reverb block again with the same settings as before. No post-processing was done on these parts aside from some analog summing modeling with some Slate digital plugins as explained in the previous episode, just to add some glue and analog warmth to the entire mix. That's it for now. Stay tuned to this channel for more episodes which are coming very soon, and if you haven't already, please hit subscribe and follow us on facebook.com/Sonic Drive Studio. Thanks a lot for watching.